there everyone, this is Vicky from Ep.3 Tarot and welcome to episode number 3 of the 10 Minute Tarot Tutor. So today I want to share with you a second technique that I use, that I bring all the time to my readings when I'm approaching how to interpret reverse tarot cards. And this is something that I call the kickback method. Sometimes when a card appears reversed in your tarot spread, it's asking you to go back to the previous card that precedes it in the order of either the major arcana or the order of the minor arcana. And the indication for me is either one of two things. One, that reversed card is a suggestion that a lesson has not been fully integrated by the querent or by you if you're doing the reading for yourself. And that you actually need to go back to the prior card that precedes that card in the tarot's natural sequential order to understand what that lesson is. So either there's an unintegrated lesson that the querent is consciously not aware of, or the querent is consciously aware of this lesson and it's simply taking some time in order for the querent to fully internalize what that lesson is for him or her. This idea of kickback cards or reverse tarot cards referring you back to the previous card kind of builds off this notion that we can understand the tarot as, well, one, a series of universal human experiences that we all undergo. Carl Gustav Jung called this archetypes. And especially in the major arcana, we can understand these archetypes as a series of experiences that build off one another such that it's necessary to have the experience before it in order to move on to the next lesson. So I'll talk about how this has showed up in my own readings, and the first example I'll go to is that of the World reversed. So this is a card that was appearing for me, especially last month, just recently, upside down. And this is a significant card to me because if we just go over some of the upright meanings first before we talk about the reversed meaning that it could have, this is a card that speaks to wielding mastery. It speaks to the idea that there's certain physical limitations that we all have as human beings, and that physicality really comes up in the 4 symbols, the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac that appear on each corner of this card. So in the, I have to look at this card, in the upper right-hand corner, we have the man, who is the symbol of Aquarius, fixed air. Then we have the eagle, which is the symbol of Scorpio, which is fixed water. We have the lion, which is the symbol of Leo's, fixed fire. And then finally, at the very bottom right-hand corner, we have the bull, which is symbol of earth, which is Taurus, fixed earth. So the world wants us to rise above the limitations of our physicalities and learn how to become our own people and to master our physical environments, doing the things that we love to do and living out our dream. That's very much how I see this card. And it's also being the card that concludes the major arcana. It can be about the ending of cycles. It can be about integrating lessons. It can be about not seeing things, or not, if we see this card in its, actually I'll put this upright again, in its upright position, this card is literally about gnosis, about becoming aware of things that were previously unconscious and things that were hidden to you. If we turn this card in its reverse position, when I was looking at this card, I very much took this card to mean that there was some sort of information out there that had recently come to light or that I need to reevaluate, and in order to fully integrate, fully understand that something, well, for me, this card's coming up in regards to a friendship, that a phase of our friendship had come to an end. So that's what this card, Reversed World, was signifying in my own personal readings. So if we use this kickback method and go back to Judgment, which is trump number 20. So the world is 21, and we want to go to 20 to understand what the world reversed means. So the message for me in this card very much spoke to this idea that there was some sort of information that had recently come to light that I wasn't paying attention to. I love the imagery in Judgment because we see the people coming up from these coffins. So that's the idea that information that was once underground is now suddenly bursting up and popping up to the surface. And I really had to pay attention to that before I could really move on to the next phase of our friendship, and that was coming up in the world reversed. So reversals will sometimes kick you back to the prior card, the card that comes before it. The role reverse can sometimes refer to this idea that we need to judge a situation, that we need to look back on the past, that something that's there was missed, and you need to really understand what that lesson is for you before you can move on. So this is a method that can also work for cards. Anytime you see a minor arcana card appear, even though minor arcana cards aren't cards that speak to lessons, life lessons per se, like the majors are, the minors are cards that speak more to this idea that they represent mundane, everyday events. And sometimes I think about minor arcana cards as cards that speak to a sequential order of things happening. So let's say, for example, I pulled a couple of cards from the minors just to demonstrate how this works. I get the Three of Wands reversed. So this is a card I decided to talk about because I often get it confused with the Two of Wands. So according to the kickback method, whenever you get the Three of Wands reversed, you just kick back to the previous card, which is in this case the Two of Wands. So the Three of Wands reversed is going to refer to, well, let's talk about its upright position. In the upright position, this card refers to this idea of implementing plans, of putting things into action. And you'll see one of the differences between these two cards is that in the Three of Wands, there's this imagery of three ships that are setting out to sail in the water. And although we see a similar scene of a man standing on a high building and he's overlooking this vista, and then we also see some water, we don't see anything going on in the water. There aren't any ships. So where this card is about the implementation of plans, we see this card reversed, it kicks us back to the Two of Wands, which is very much about, rather than the implementation of plans, the making of plans, strategizing, looking ahead to the future, and really thinking about if things are going to suss out the way you want them to if you take certain action steps. When we see the Three of Wands reversed, one of the interpretations we can bring to this is that you're not quite ready to put those plans into action because the planning that had to go down in the Two of Wands isn't really fully developed. It's kind of like a half-baked plan. So that's all I had to share today regarding how to read reversals using the kickback method. Just two examples I want to share with you. And if you would like to learn more about reading reversals, I want to let you know about a masterclass, online masterclass that I'm offering this February 25th on Thursday called Tarot in Reverse. And we are going to be talking about not only my favorite methods of using reverse tarot cards, but also other methods that other readers use who are not me. So we'll be talking about 13 methods total. That's a lot of information, including what to do when you see the majority or all of your tarot cards reversed in a spread, what to do when you see multiple cards reversed, and how to read the themes that are running throughout those reversed cards. We are going to be talking about how to leave your client feeling empowered after a reading in which many of the cards came out reversed, because sometimes many people view reverse cards as indications of barriers or negative energy that's being injected to a reading. So that's going to be going down on Thursday, February 25th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you would like to learn more information about that class and sign up, head on over to eternalathena.com. The link to my website is posted down below in the text box. And with that, that is all I have for today. I'm going to be posting video number 4 of the 10-Minute Tarot Tutor, which is going to be looking at a third method of reading reversals in the next few days. So stay tuned, and I wish you guys a happy weekend. Take care.